Thank you so much, Patty. Appreciate you. That was in 2006. We were in that sweat lodge together. Almost 20 years ago. Wow, time flies. It's good to be here with you. Just want to share some good words with you, some teachings that I've learned that I always like to pass on, and also in my studies, the things that I research to better myself as a teacher. And usually that study is on myself. You know, a lot of times we're talking about today and coming from the darkness into the light. You know, as Patty said, the power is still just now coming on up there, conifer, and because of the high winds that happened last week, so I wanted to pray for everybody about that. But I wanted to go on and share with you some of the things that I've learned about studying myself and how I brought that teaching out to help others study themselves. Because the things that I teach you, you go to the doctor, pay lots of money to keep coming back, I guess. But here we don't do that. We want to teach you how to be your own healer. I don't consider myself a healer. I just get you unstuck. And you become the healer. Because a lot of times we don't realize our own gifts. We travel the world, all over the world, looking for answers for our problems, our issues. And we look all over the world. We pay big money to try to get that healing, that certain word, just to spark something in us of healing. And all the time is in us. And our self is traveling and trying to find these answers everywhere. When there's a storm, sometimes we have to go through. And many of us have been there. And they call it the crossroads sometimes, or into the storm. But in the Lakota philosophy, there are some relatives we call the Buffalo Nation, our relatives. Because they have taught us everything and they have given everything to us. Their philosophy, their bodies, their teachings. And people don't understand that kind of thinking or that kind of what that means and that kind of philosophy. You see, when we hit something that troubles us or we go through something traumatic, we go into the storm. Because in here, the storm, this is where you're going to learn yourself. This is where you're going to study yourself. You're going to feel the pain, you're going to cry, you're going to be mad, angry, but you need to. You need to feel that. Because depression is not all bad for you. Because the body is so intelligent, it knows how to heal itself. But we're taught different. We're taught how to oppress that down, keep it down there. And when that happens, we get sicker and sicker. We need to let it out. And how do we let it out? Talking, crying, praying, helping. But in that storm, you're going to learn to study yourself. You're going to learn the things, your gifts that you have come with here. And in that storm, the Buffalo people are going to be in there with you. They're going to teach you and they're going to guard you through that storm. Because when you come out of that storm, there's going to be people waiting for you there. And these are the people that you went through that storm for. Because they need teaching. They need help next. So it's your experience and your own suffering and your own trauma becomes a teacher. It doesn't become a burden no more. It becomes a teacher. Scars disappear. Wounds disappear. You want that. You don't want to keep your scars or your wounds because you're just going to make excuses with them. You want to get rid of them. Physical, the physical scars, you see them. Oh, I remember that. I remember what happened at that time. Don't become a victim to it. Become a teacher. Learn the philosophy from that pain and become a teacher, because there's going to be somebody else that's going to have that same pain. But now you have the understanding to be the teacher now. You see, we always do that to ourselves. We blame and shame, point fingers. You see, I was taught when I was growing up to be a warrior. And with that, you don't see division. You see the people. And when you become a warrior, you don't make an oath to no human. You make it to the Creator. This is for life. This is for life. And when that happens, these things are going to come in, these purposes, these gifts that you're born with are going to bloom in you. And they're going to come out. And you're going to learn how to cry. You're going to learn how to see people. Because we're meant to be useful to each other. Not against, but useful to each other. Useful to the kids crossing the street in the morning when they go to school. Useful to our elderly getting out of their car, walking to the store, or helping them get into their car. Useful by just saying hi to somebody. You see, these teachings that you came through that storm with, that rebirthed you, to bring those gifts out. Sometimes you have to be broke. You have to. Because when you're stuck and somebody else is teaching, you're not seeing with yourself. You're seeing somebody else's teaching through you. So in order for you to see through yourself, you must go through that storm, and it must break you. But remember, the way creation is, when creation was created, it was chaos. There was turmoil. But in that, something was brewing. That was us. That was the world, our Mother Earth. Us and all life that has been on her. It brewed us, created us. And we came with these emotions. We were born with them. These are gifts, born with this spirit, this soul. Learn that self of who you are. Because if you stay stuck, you're going to be stagnant. And the Buffalo people will help you through that storm and bring you through it. Because they have no ego. They see you. And that's where you want to get. In order to see yourself, the ego must go away. There's two virtues I live by, and I call them the ego checkers. And that's humility and humbleness. These are the ego checkers that I live by because I have to see the people. Because when I pull up to a corner and see somebody begging for some money, sometimes if I have it, I don't hesitate. I don't sit there and judge. That's not my right. My right is to help, to be useful. And if that is to get him something to eat or whatever, that's his business or her business. It's not my business no more. My business is to keep moving, but to be useful, to help. And that's where we get stuck. Because we get sometimes stuck in ourselves. Because somebody taught us to see through their eyes, not through you. And sometimes you have to go through that break, that storm, in order to really see who you are. See yourself. And there, you're going to really learn who you are. You're going to really know your strengths, your gifts. And life's going to change. It's going to be more, more fulfilling, I can say. I've been through many storms, many. Every storm I came through got stronger and stronger. My mom, she made her journey home. You know, in our Lakota way, we put this away. We put our dancing away. And we mourn for that year. In the Lakota word, they call it washigla, a mourning process. There's an intelligence that brings you through that. And when you go follow that process, you're not going to get stuck. You're going to heal. That's what that process is for. So, but I made a commitment to this solstice. So I have to keep it. So when I'm done, I'm going to put my bustles away, put my outfit away for 1 year. I'll be back next year, though. So, we had a lot of healing, me and my mom. You see, my mom didn't raise me, but I knew her all my life, on and off. At the end, she was, one of the things that we do to ourselves, guilt, anger, blame, shame. So the only thing I can do is sit beside her and tell her I love her. You did nothing wrong, Mom. Everything you did is the way it's supposed to be. If I didn't go through that storm, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't know the things I know. I wouldn't be strong the way I am. I wouldn't be compassionate. I had to go through that life like that. Because sometimes I go to people's deathbeds. Sometimes I go to these hospice centers. I sit down and I pray with them, talk with them. It's going to be okay. Journey is going to be good. You got to believe that too. You got to know that it's going to be good. So whatever you go through it. Be strong through it. Cry through it. Use the tears that you're born with. The Creator gave these to you, these modalities. Because if you stop crying, other dysfunctions are going to come in. Diabetes, high blood pressure, heart attacks, cancers. Because anxieties, tension, all of that creates all of that. You need to cry. The gifts you're given. We're born with natural modalities. We're created so intelligent, so amazing, the things that we're born with. So don't fight against the Creator. Use the gifts that are given to you. Share them. Help people. Help yourself. Learn to help yourself. Learn to love yourself. That's not selfish. That's a gift you can give to the Creator and the people around you. Because people love you and they want to see you healthy. They want to see you happy. So remember that. It starts from you. You don't need to go all over. It's here. Sit down and pray. Talk to yourself. Learn yourself. Study yourself. And you'll start to heal. And use that goodness to walk in the world and help people. Sometimes we live in an arrogant way and the ego checkers are going to come one day. So learn to understand that meaning of the ego checker. Because there's people you need to see. There's people you need to help. 오가헤이비 토가실라엘로이 제와야기엘로 아에 자누바기 와카가이비엘로 호예와엘로 아에오이 타티아토바기 아히투와야이 오마기야엘로 제와기엘로 하에 토가실라이 오마기야요 하에 어이 So I'm going to say to Mom, this dance is for you. So one of the things that I've learned about this process my mom went through is forgiveness. And it was not me, even though she might have wanted is to forgive herself, to understand that power of forgiving yourself. It releases so much. But I sat there. And I said, Mom, you have nothing to say sorry for. It was meant to be the way it's meant to be. And with that, it made me who I am. And that is a warrior for the people.